Nashvillians are special. They have been tagged a number of times as one of the friendliest places, and I think that Southern hospitality mindset still pretty well exists here. It's a city that has a lot of churches in it. We're known for that. I think it adds to the quality of the citizen, the values that they have, and I think that makes it very special too. One of the things that I'm very grateful for, everything that I've done in my life has taken me literally into every segment of this community here. When I was coaching, of course, playing different schools, and being the fire chief, and of course being a councilman at large, puts you everywhere, every community. So I really feel I know this community, not only the streets very well, but also the people very well, because I've had the privilege of interacting with them in so many different ways.
Take care. Good to see you. Good morning, folks.
How are you?
Buck Dozier.
Yes.
I'm running for mayor.
Sure.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you. I need your vote. Thank you so much. My grandfather was a doctor, and his doctor's office was at 51st and Charlotte. There's a bank there now, but we're headed down to 4905 Park Avenue. Now, this is where I grew up. My brother and I used to play. I was Roy Rogers. This was the range here. I was the sheriff of 49th to 50th. And this is Dr. Willoughby Dozier's one of his ledgers where he charged people, for instance, a dime or quarter. And this is 1906. The most that I've ever seen charged in here was $1 and a quarter. And that must have been a major operation for him back in that time. I'll tell a quick story. He told me that he delivered almost 7,000 babies. He had two brothers who were doctors in Nashville, East and North Nashville. I run into people all the time who he delivered. Now most of them have passed away. Well, this is one of my favorite places in the whole wide world, Cone High School. They don't make schools like this anymore. It's stately looking. It looks like what I'd call a real educational institution. This was back in the days when you knew where you were going to go to high school in your neighborhood. I went to Sylvan Park Elementary School, and you automatically knew that you were coming to Cone High School. I'm in the annual here somewhere. In fact, that's me right there with the crew cut. I love my sports days here, and when I was playing football, I was an end and defensive end. I was a linebacker for a long time. This is the superlatives that they had out, and again, they were fortunate enough to be voted most likely to succeed. I love my socks that I used back in those days. And we're almost to the Shaw Avenue Church of Christ, where at one time, when I was here in the high school days, it was the largest Church of Christ in the city. First speech I ever made, I guess I made 3,000 now, I've estimated in my life. First talk I ever made, 3-minute talk, was in this stage in here, and I was scared to death, tripped as I went up the steps to make the speech, and embarrassed myself tripping, and it's a wonder I haven't made another speech, but I did.
What was the speech on?
I have no idea.
And I really wasn't going to be a coach. I knew I was going to teach, but I was going to teach history because I love civics and government and those kind of things. But I had a young man who was 9 years old, and he was never got to play much because he was so young, playing with older boys. And he wasn't that good either, but he came up to me and he said, I got to play today, Coach. And I said, well, Jess, we'll see. And he came back and said, I got to play today, Coach. I got to play today. And I said, well, why do you have to play today? He said, my daddy has come to see me play today, and he doesn't live with us. He said, I got to play today because he may not get to see me ever play again. That day, I decided that I was going to coach. And and he played, by the way, Jess played that day. And because I thought of all the teaching positions, coaches could have a greater influence on kids. Well, this is where I spent a lot of time in my lifetime, and actually I was going to become a Metro teacher, and believe it or not, they had a cut in Metro budget and decided they couldn't hire that year. And a private school named David Lipscomb came to me and said, we're beginning football. Make a long story short, in 2 years I became the head coach at 25 years old here at David Lipscomb High School. I worked him pretty hard, I'll admit it, because football is a great athletics is a great foundation for young men, young ladies to
find out a lot about themselves and who they are and what they can accomplish in life. I was preparing them for Friday night, and I was also preparing them for life. Well, this is where we had chapel for the kids every day, and this is kind of important to me because I made a lot of talks in here. Well, I did start dating my wife when I was teaching here the first year, and in the spring I realized that one of my athletes was her cousin. And this is a true story. I said, David, is Sandra Anderson your cousin? He said, yes. I said, how bad do you want to pass my Bible class? He looked at me with big eyes and he said, well, what do you mean? I said, what is her telephone number? And he gave me her telephone number. Coming up on Good Pasture, kindergarten, elementary, high school. My wife Sandra teaches here.
I've been here, this is my 17th year here. But I have done this a total of almost 30 years. But I started out in first grade. Buck does not cook. He's not very domestic, I'm afraid to say.
Well, I can do those kind of things.
That's what he tells me. His favorite dishes are pizzas, and you can go out and buy those.
Yeah, I like pizzas. I have to admit I like pizzas. One of the things that she learned early about our dates was that if there was a major fire in Nashville, because I was brought up with my father listening to police and fire radio, and so when I became chief, she went to so many fires. In fact, she used to take a book with her when she rode with me because so she could stay in the car so she wouldn't have to 3 or 4 hours at a fire, you know.
Have a good day.
What do you say, guys?
Hey, Chief, how you doing, sir?
Ooh, I'm freezing.
How you doing, Chief?
I am freezing.
Got to warm up a little bit.
I know it. Well, y'all be careful out here today.
Things going good?
Things going real good. Extremely good. Very pleased where we're at.
It's cool out there.
Y'all be careful now. Don't get hurt. Take care. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Brad's Barbershop. Brad's a young man who just got into the business not too long ago. I had my former barber walked in one day about 3 years ago, and he had decided that he was going to run me for mayor. Before I'd actually decided to run, he bought his own buttons and got them ready. What's going on this morning?
Good, all right. Just going to get the usual.
Yep. And his slogan was, me and old Buck. Unfortunately, Bob died before we got to really do anything with him. He had some heart problems, and I was part of his funeral. They actually charged me to do this, too. I call it a finder's fee. If they find anything, they can charge me. So. My faith is dear to me. It should affect the part of me that most people should care about, and that's, we call it ethics in politics. City government, as I often say, a pothole is neither Democrat, Republican, or Church of Christ, or Baptist, or whatever. It's a pothole. So there are things that are kind of neutral. But then there are things that come up in life that are actually matters of values. See you guys.